Hey folks, this is Kalani. The War Within is finally here. We can explore the new zones of Kaz Algar, level up to the new max of level 80, and chase Xalatath down into the depths of Azeroth itself. But there are some important things that I would do first on launch day, and some others that I would make sure you do while leveling to ensure you don't miss out on some progression, or you do things too many times when you don't necessarily need to, and to give you some options for leveling as efficiently as possible. So let's go through what I would do first on launch day and some things that you really shouldn't miss. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. The first thing I would recommend you do when the expansion goes live, either in early access if you have that or on the 26th if you don't, is log into any alts that you plan on leveling early on. This will get their rested experience started, so when you come back to them later on, they should have a good chunk of rested experience which will speed up their leveling quite considerably. Just make sure they're also in a rested area. With that out of the way, grab your first character that you want to level, and you're going to want to swing by Dalaran and get started with the intro sequence for the War Within. The quests start in Dalaran, in the same area where we were for the Radiant Echoes event portals. You should get a pop-up quest and be directed here, but if you don't, Magni should have a quest for you. It is important to note that it looks like we will need to do the initial quests that we've had access to on live for a little while now, so going down into Silithus and meeting Magni, and then talking to his family in Dalaran. Thankfully that's very quick, but if you haven't done those quests yet, you will need to do them before you can start the new stuff in Dalaran. Work your way through that intro sequence and you'll find yourself on the Isle of Dawn. After clearing up the beach a little bit, you're going to fly on over to our new city hub for this expansion, Dornegal, so we're introduced to the hub very early on. At this point, I would take a little detour and pick up your Kaz Algar professions in the Forge Grounds. You can do this pretty much as soon as you arrive in Dornegal, so you don't have to wait. If you were planning on using a gathering profession, this is of paramount importance. If you don't pick up Kaz Algar professions, you won't get any skill ups for any nodes that you gather out on your leveling adventures, so be sure you pick those up right away. If you're just going to play with crafting professions at max level, you don't necessarily have to pick up your professions right now, but I would do so anyway. The first craft bonuses still grant you a big chunk of experience, so crafting professions can actually help you level up to 80. Now before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is a free-to-start MMORPG focused on fun gameplay, not constant grinding, where the game respects the player's time, with most rewards and features being account-wide. The next expansion, Janthea Wilds, releases on August 20th and introduces a whole host of new content. You'll be able to visit the fabled Isles of Janthea, learn how to equip and use new weapons, and encounter new allies as you uncover the mysteries of Tyria's past. We're also going to see player housing with the Homestead system. These are account-wide personal instances with structures and land for you to decorate and cultivate. There's no lottery, rent or maintenance fees, so you don't have to fight other players to own your homestead, and it's your own space to set up however you want. Janthea Wilds also offers new challenging and cooperative content, including 3 open-world explorable maps, 50 player events in convergences, a new raid with challenge modes, new fractal dungeons with challenge modes for 10-player groups, and expanded Wizard's Vault rewards. The expansion will also continue to be updated with quarterly content releases, so there's always something new to look forward to. Mounts are also super special in Guild Wars 2. Instead of just being another collectible, different mounts have unique traits, like being able to jump higher, run faster, or zoom through the sky. In Janthea Wilds, there'll be a new way to get the Warclaw mount and a new mastery line to explore. So click the link in the description to purchase the Janthea Wilds expansion and start your Guild Wars 2 adventures today. Now getting back to the video, if you don't plan on doing any crafting until later on, or you aren't attached to any profession in any way, I would actually drop them and pick up double gathering while leveling. You get free XP from each node, you can sell the materials on the auction house or use them for your crafting later on, and you'll also be accruing Artisan's Acuity, a rare crafting material needed for important crafts, so there's no downside to picking up double gathering now and switching professions later on. If you don't want to go through the effort of actually gathering nodes, or maybe you just don't want the distraction while leveling up, you can pick up tailoring and enchanting. The War Within is different when it comes to tailors and cloth drops. It seems like only tailors will actually get cloth this time, which will significantly reduce the supply of that material. If you pick up tailoring while leveling, you should get quite a bit of cloth by the time you hit max level, which you can either use for crafting if you want to be a tailor, or you can sell it on the auction house for some quick gold. Enchanting is a good pickup because it allows you to disenchant spare gear while leveling, so you can sell those enchanting materials early on while they are still expensive, and it's entirely passive. You don't really have to do anything besides just disenchant any gear that you don't want. With professions in hand, you can pick up where you left off on the campaign story and work through that as a priority. You have to complete the campaign to unlock world quests, events, and various important weekly activities, so this should be your main goal for your first character especially. Finishing the campaign also unlocks adventure mode for your alts, so you'll have more freedom for how to level additional characters as well. Now, as you're leveling up, you're going to unlock the Hero Talent feature. When you get to level 71, you can pick whichever talent tree that you want. You can freely swap between them, so don't worry about getting locked in. The first point is always unlocked by default, so you don't have to spend one for that. For every level you gain up to 80, you'll get one more talent point to spend in this new tree. Typically, the most powerful talents are the top one, which you get for free, and then the bottom one. So I would encourage you to look through the talents and pick one line down so you can grab that capstone as quickly as possible. Where you place talents doesn't really matter all that much though, because you will unlock them all when you reach level 80. So this isn't a tree where you pick and choose where to place talents, you just unlock it all eventually. Personally, I'll be grabbing the capstone early though, because that's where a lot of the fun and powerful mechanics are found. As for leveling, you can complete side quests as you go if you want, but they will always be there later on, and with the main rewards being account-wide now, so things like renown and reputation, you don't have to do the side quests on every character, so you can use them for experience on your alts if you don't want to go through the campaign again. If you want to be really efficient with this, you can complete different zone side quests on different characters. So you could do the Isle of Dawn side quests on your hunter, then the Ringing Deeps on your mage, etc. That way you always benefit from the experience offered from those side quests, and because the rep and renown is account-wide, every character gets that progress and the unlocks, even if they didn't do the side quests. So that's just going to depend on you and how you like to play. I personally really like doing side quests after I've finished the main campaign, because you can then do them while you're sitting in dungeon queues or focusing more on professions. There are going to be a lot of rewards locked behind the various renown tracks and far more ways to actually earn reputation when you reach max level, so I would focus on renown after you finish the campaign, but again, this will come down to your personal preference. I would also encourage you to explore the entire map before you move on to the next zone. I know a lot of folks probably do this already, but it's going to be even more important in the War Within. While you can drag and ride freely in the War Within zones from almost the moment you arrive, you cannot use Steady Flight. Steady Flight for the War Within zones are locked behind a new Pathfinder achievement. This achievement only has two major requirements: complete the story quests in each zone and explore each zone. We'll get the full story stuff done just by following the campaign, so that's no problem. So if you explore the zones as you go, you should unlock Pathfinder right after finishing the campaign, and you won't have to backtrack to get those last few bits of the map uncovered. Then you can use whichever flight style you prefer for the rest of the expansion. You should also pick up every flight path that you come across. You can see which ones you haven't unlocked on the map, as they have a different icon. So if you see that the flight path is green, that's one that you still need to go over and grab. There are two main reasons for getting every flight path. First, they are actually account-wide now, so you only have to grab each one once, and then all of your alts will actually have them already available, which can make getting around the zones much easier for your future playthroughs. The second reason is that you can also earn yourself the Kaz Algar Flight Master achievement, which will increase the speed of any flight path you take by 25%. One of the major drawbacks of flight paths are that they are usually quite a bit slower when compared to just flying by yourself, especially now that we have dragon riding. But if you get yourself this achievement, you can take the easy flight path option without it being too inefficient time-wise. As you work your way through the story quests, you'll be introduced to Delves, the new solo player friendly mini dungeon experience. You have to go through a couple of these as part of the story, and you can run them pretty much endlessly from what I understand. You just need to reset the instance after you're done and you can pop back in. Delves have multiple tiers of difficulty, but you are locked to just the first 3 while leveling. You have to reach max level and complete the campaign to unlock tier 4, so if you're interested in pushing up the Delve tiers as far as you can, you will need to get that campaign squared away first. Delves are going to reward you with experience, gear, and some important currencies, but the vast majority of the important rewards will be locked until you get to max level or until the new season starts, so poke around in them if you're having fun with them, but you definitely don't need to grind them at all while leveling. When you've reached max level with your first character and completed the campaign, you can start poking around the important weekly activities like special assignment world quests, the various world events in each zone, weekly quest, and start gearing up to get ready for Season 1. If you are still in the early access period at this point, endgame is going to be a bit wonky because a lot of stuff will not be enabled until the first reset day after the 26th. They don't want early access folks to get any real power advantages, so if you hit max level super early, you may not have a lot to do until that first reset day rolls around. The most important things to look out for would be any important or meta quests on your world map. These are the pink-purple quests or the blue-spiky quests. Those will always be the most important things to get done if they're up. Special assignment world quests will reward you with a box of goodies, but you need to complete 3 world quests in the same zone before you can obtain those rewards. There are various weekly events to keep an eye on too: the Theatre Troupe in Dornegal, Awakening the Machine in the Ringing Deeps, and Spreading the Light in Hollowfall. These will reward you with caches that you'll want to get your hands on. And you should also be able to start working towards unlocking the Earthen Allied race now if that's something of interest to you. Some of this stuff should be available in early access, while other parts will become active with the first weekly reset, and then some of it might not be available until Season 1 starts up on September 10th, so just take a look at your world map each day when you log in and see what's active and what you might want to start looking into. If you don't have anything else to do, you can start working on side quests to get some renown rewards, early delve tiers for gear and rewards, or you should be able to do at least normal dungeons if you want to start gearing up. You can also start skilling up your crafting professions, or try to make some sweet gold by gathering or farming or whatever else you want to do with professions. Getting as many recipes as you can is going to be important for those first time crafting bonuses, and you want to keep an eye on when the patron work orders are enabled so you can jump into that as soon as possible. The patron work orders are where a lot of the profession progression will be this time, so they're going to be super important. This would also be a great time to start working on your alts and leveling those up. I know some guildies are aiming to get a lot of leveling done in those first few days, but the key here is that you will want to level one character at a time. When you reach max level for the first time, you'll get the Warband Mentor achievement. This rewards you with 5% bonus XP for every other character on your account, so leveling up alts becomes so much easier and faster. This achievement will stack up to 5 times, so when you have 5 max level characters, everyone else on your account gets 25% bonus XP. Our alts are going to level so fast thanks to these achievements, so you should focus on leveling one character at a time if you want to be efficient about it. After you've completed enough of the campaign, your ult should also be able to skip over the entire intro section of the story, so you can talk to Thrall when you go down to Silithus and tell him you've done all of this before, and you'll skip straight over to Dornegal. So no running around Dalaran or scraping yourself off the beach on the Isle of Dawn, straight to the action, so that's another reason to focus on one character first. The Adventure Mode unlock also allows your ults to kinda do whatever they want to level up, so feel free to spam dungeons, repeat some campaign quests, grind delves, complete side quests. It's completely up to you at that point. And then there are also some out-of-game promotions you may be interested in, mostly related to Twitch. Starting on August 26th, if you watch 4 hours of eligible WoW streams, you'll be able to claim the Ghastly Charger mount, which is actually pretty cool, so if you want to get a glowing undead horse, be sure to swing by Twitch sometime after launch day. There's also a new supporter streamer event starting on August 26th as well, where if you gift 2 subs to an eligible WoW stream, you'll get the Watcher of the Huntress Owl pet, so if there are some streamers you want to support and you want a cool little pet, that's something to be aware of. But that's everything I would recommend you do on launch day and in the early access period for The War Within, so that's it for this video. What are you going to focus on first? How many characters are you planning on leveling with those cool new Warband bonus XP achievements? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.